is there maybe a way you could just quickly summarize some of the implications for choosing like an EU AIF and the service provider requirements that maybe come along with that, depending on which option a client chooses?
Yeah, sure. I mean, service providers for an EU AIF I think we need to distinguish firsthand. There are a few thresholds, right? So you have really the registered AIF regime, which is depending on whether your fund is leveraged or not, has a leveraged 100 million, non-leveraged 500 million euro threshold, until which a fund can stay registered, which really means very lightly regulated regime. And the alternative investment fund manager does not need a specific authorization. So typically the GP structure would have that role. Here the administrator really plays the key role, because, well, local expertise is needed. You need to domicile, administer, do the accounting for the fund vehicle and for the GP entity. You will need some local substance when it comes to the directorship roles, things like the MLRO, however that function is called in the relevant jurisdiction. But that is the I would say lower regulated regime, which has a relatively tangible downside, and that is this type of fund does not benefit from the marketing passport that we mentioned before, right? So you may even below those thresholds opt for a fully authorized AIF regime, or you are above those thresholds. I mean, with some leverage, 100 million is not really a very large threshold, right? So you might quickly find yourself in that territory anyways, and then why not benefit from the marketing passport while you're there? That, however, then means on the service provider side, you still need that central administrator who will still usually provide the central administration, the domiciliation, the administration, fund accounting, investor services functions. On top of that, you have the alternative investment fund manager being responsible for the portfolio management, the risk management, valuation oversight, overall coordination, and the depository, which is another regulatory function with the main roles of supervision, of cash flow monitoring, and basically oversight, safekeeping on the assets. Yeah, making sure that real estate asset is properly registered in the land register in the name of the fund or its holding structure. That private equity asset is properly registered in the company books of the target. These types of roles.
So it's a slightly more complicated service provider picture, but you get to, I suppose, spread the roles and responsibilities out a little bit more in that environment.
You do. I mean, and well, I think for a first-time fund manager who might think now, oh my God, I have to talk to 3 different entities, 3 different CRMs, project managers, and so on. That's going to be one hell of an onboarding and fund launch. I think the good news is we can all centralize that. And I mean, at Ocorian, for example, I think we mentioned the one-stop shop previously. It's a standard, and I think it gets particularly appreciated by the manager that maybe does not have that huge back office, that relies on one person internally to hold the strings, while the rest of the team is working on well, the deal side, ramping up a pipeline, or working through their investor relations approach.
Finding the investors,
right? Yeah. So I think being able to offer basically the full setup in Luxembourg. Yeah? You as first-time fund manager do not need your own boots on the ground in Luxembourg, in Dublin, and to that effect also in the Channel Islands, right? I mean, your local administrators will provide all of that, so that you can really focus on what you're good at.
Yeah, we can take care of it all.